In this episode, you're going to learn the history of the CML building in Hobart. G'day and welcome to Forgotten Tasmania. I'm John Stevenson. There wasn't always a CML building on the corner of Elizabeth and Macquarie Streets in Hobart. The story of this building starts with the architect. Australians are a bit ambivalent towards architects, quick to call them out when they do something new or different, but largely forgotten the rest of the time. Jack Hennessy Jr. was an unusual Irish-descended Australian. His Irish roots were not convict or political prisoner. His grandfather was a hatter, but he wasn't mad. He was resourceful enough to educate his children, including Jack Sr., who became an architect. Jack Hennessy, father and son, would go on to start Australia's first international architectural company. And that's perhaps how CML came to hire them to design their new building in Sydney. They used a new technique called Benedict stone, which is a mix of crushed granite and cement. This technique of pre-making blocks and shipping them to the building site ready to assemble, a bit like Lego, meant that the building went up really quickly. Hennessy's mix of Gothic, Art Deco and Romanesque revival became a bit of a trademark for him. CML was so pleased they engaged the Hennessy firm to construct buildings in other Australian cities, as well as South Africa and New Zealand. Jack Hennessy was made a Fellow of the Royal Institute of British Architects. CML buildings popped up in Brisbane, Adelaide, Durban, Perth, Wellington, and of course this one in Hobart, although Melbourne missed out. The incredible thing is that all this happened during the Great Depression. CML Hobart opened in April of 1937, and judging by the papers of the day, it was a welcome addition to Hobart's skyline. More than 80 years later, the building is still there, although the CML buildings in Brisbane and Sydney were torn down to make way for something new. The Adelaide one is still there, and a kind viewer sent in this video of the Adelaide CML building. See how similar it is? I had a great time climbing around the Hobart building. I had no idea the open house project was so broad, with so many different properties open to view. Check them out at openhousehobart.org. Thanks for watching. Cheers!